really do get the feeling that on like a true level that I do represent their heart, their mind, their souls, their bodies. Right? And so that makes me have more to say. Like in that way. I'll always have more to say if I feel that I can help someone get out from a dangerous situation. Right? That they have the right to, right? Pick the loser. Pick Quentin's loser. Right? Quentin's loser is their winner. That's like my point. Right? That's like, right? And maybe they're justifying it in some way, in their mind, sure, just like I do. Because they wanted me to do it too. But if they always hated the film, right? And they really, well, all they wanted was a way out from Quentin, and that's like what it actually is about. Right? Then it had to go this way because they want it to be clear, right? No more. Right? And so since I'm the only one to do that, by not giving him what he wanted, you get it? That's, right, there it is, Right? Maybe they never wanted to do the movie with me. They always wanted to say, can we just like hang out with you? Like we'll pay whatever we gotta pay, but you take us to New York. Right? I mean, it would have been like subtle in that way. Or we would have done the movie, like I don't know. We could still do the movie. Right? But Quentin has to, right? The thought of him like bullying these women, like into perhaps conceiving children. Like, do they have rape babies inside of them? Oh, so funny. Look how funny Hollywood is. Right? They think that it's like funny to like make people think that they let people get raped on union film sets with state tax credits. How hilarious. Right? But the thought of him, right, just like crossing his arms and being this goblin because I have no money to sue, I have no resources, and that's like, and like making them go to the Cannes Film Festival, right? Like, is that, like, do we understand like how deeply humiliating that is, right? He'll destroy their psyche forever. They'll never have a good memory, right? If they like we're talking like no bullshit here, brass tacks, right? If they want to come to me, right, and feel that they are being prevented from coming to me by the actions of Quentin Tarantino, right, then every day that we persist in this way, you prove to them that they are objects, right? That how they feel does not matter. That they do not have the right to see who they want to see, spend their time how they want to spend it, right? And you chip away a little more at what's beautiful inside of them, That's the point. That you're chipping away at their sanity, you're chipping away at their psychological stability, because, right? Right? It doesn't matter what they signed, right? Like what if they, like what is the argument? What they signed, there's nothing they could sign that like makes it to where they can't see me. They can decide to not see me. I can decide to not see them, right? They can call me and I can say, oh, well, I guess that's enough. Right? Right? I could say something like, I want you to consider me your spiritual advisor. And I'd like you to call me anytime you feel lost. Anytime you need protection. And so if they need protection constantly from a dangerous psychic who exacts his mind in dangerous sadistic ways, I think there's only one man in the world that can really do that, isn't there? That's the point. My body language, I think about that a lot. A lot of times I'm like leaning into the camera, and that's suggestive of being truthful, of wanting to be close to what I'm communicating to, which is the public at large. Right? That we all have to, right? we all have to really like kind of grow up like in a real way. That's like my point, you know. And start seeing things beyond legal contracts, to start seeing things like beyond the glamorous veneer of everything, and like start really seeing the soul of like what's occurring, right? And so in the soul of those women, they felt like a real palpable justification for doing the film in like having a man to embrace and like feel sexy for, that like, right, that they earned as a result of doing, right? Now they're just a bitch who got fucked by Brad Pitt. You get it? Like, that's the point. Right? Like, am I like tooting my own horn? I guess I am. You know, like, I don't know. That's not why I wrote. Right? This is why we're here now. Because if I would have seen that and said, oh, they like me. Oh, cool. Like, yeah. Like, fuck yeah. I like you too. You're fine. You're so fine. Right? And that's like what he's like. Anyway, it's not magic, you know. It's not magic. But I do get it. As far as like him being addicted to control, right? He can't control my mind. He can't, like, he can be a part of it. He can destroy my body with occultism, 100%. I know it because I've been living it, right? And I know that no one helps him. I know that he's like, he's like really isolated now, like in a palpable way as a practitioner. Maybe he always has been, because he's interested in those like layers of like secrecy and cunning. Right? I'll explain magic like to anyone. Right? That's like, oh, you want to, okay, like, so this is what you want to talk about. Right? And this is white magic, black magic. And that's the point. So, if the truth is that they always wanted to meet me about this movie, and he has prevented them from speaking plainly to me, right? That's like deep heresy. That's like a deep human rights violation. So, like, actually, right? I'm so pure. I'm so innocent. I'm so naive, right? But now, like I am, I'm like kind of overtly like calling the industry out, like in a real way, you know, that this is, right? That if they needed it to be me, right, to feel good about themselves, and they felt that the only way to justify, like, not, to justify, like, continuing to do it is if they put themselves in front of me, right, then in refusing them the right to do that, right, you're now holding them hostage, right? You're like, that's like, it's illegal imprisonment, you know? Right? Not because I have to do the film, but because they don't have to do the film. That's the point. Breach of contract, $5 million, whatever. Right? But now it's gone on so long that it's just deeply troubling, right? It's very sick now that's like, right? If that's like what it's been for like almost 18 months now, and he compelled them, right, into getting raped on his film set because he resented the fact that they have actually been in love with me since they read my letters, right? Then that's like deeply evil. That's like the point, right? That's beyond, right? This is when I do like my Donald Trump. Well, we can't do this. We can't be doing this, right? Right? He's the one that wrote it. That's the point, right? Right? And so, like, every step of the way, quite literally, even legally, he's had the opportunity to listen, right, to the best parts of his psyche, to listen to the beautiful things around him, and make a decision that is truly aligned with the Almighty. Right? But in not doing that, right, that's the point. Right? What I'm saying now is that now that I know, right, I think that, right, that the game's like over, isn't it? Isn't it like weird now? Isn't it like kind of quasi-criminal to, if not becoming overtly criminal, to have me like declare to the entire industry that I don't care about like the fact that like they're famous or that they have money or that like they're fine, they're like the finest women in the world. Like I have the right to see them. I have the right to like put eyes on them, right, and make sure that they're safe. Because in truth, I know that they'll never feel safe until they're with me. That's the point. Like, we'll never be safe until we're whole. As a result of, right, like he did it. He stole all my innocence now I have lots of cunning and guile and, all of these things. All the things that he wanted to teach me, he taught them to me. All the things that he wanted to do to the women, he did to the women. Now I expect to be able to help them pick up the pieces of their psyche and not have to justify getting raped on that film set, right? On the film festival circuit a dozen times over. That's too far. That's like, no, I'm going to keep calling them rape victims, right? Every day for the rest of the year. The Cannes Film Festival is going to receive it, right? Because they deserve to be like, no more. Like he did make it weird. Like I do feel like they're cool and like we're all like stoked on being together because that's like fucking rad. But for him to like, for him to abuse understanding like how I live, you understand? Like that's like, I told them about my celibacy, like my vow, the secret to my clairvoyance, in August of 2024. And so if the truth is that he was waiting on me to sue, to relinquish control of these women, if I was supposed to see that, he always knew I was never going to see that. Right? And that feels disgusting to me. That feels like genuinely sickening. That he was like, up to and including like tying these women up, sexually assaulting them every day in his house, going, oh, where's Brian? Like, why isn't like, oh, what do you think about Brian now? And that's exactly what happened on that film set. That's the point. Right? Like, oh, you want the Boy Scout? Right? That's really sad. Like on a very fundamental level, right? And I contend is in fact evil. That's like pretty fucking evil. To know that they're gone, that it's done, right? They see nothing but like mistrust, right? Dishonesty, and they can't like be around you, and you still like compel them to spread their legs and give you the treasures of their body. That's just sick. He's just like stealing their life force. That's like, right? And so this is where it becomes like kind of sad, in that way, in terms of like me, distinctions in schools, black magic, white magic. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to live the way that he wants to live, right? But if they want out, he can't keep them, right? That we have the right to be together. If they see in me a protector, because I'm the only man who understands what Quentin Tarantino is into, and how sick, in fact, it is. That they can't live that way anymore, and they need to know that, right, the man they spend their time with is able to keep them safe from Quentin's sadism. So that's my point. I'm the only one who can do that. So, right, God bless.